What's up guys, welcome back. Today's video is gonna hurt some feelings, and honestly, good, because somebody needs to say it. Way too many dudes are out here flying to Thailand, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, wherever with no money, and then acting surprised when they end up broke, stranded, or begging for cash on live stream.
I never thought that I'd be in this position, but in a week's time, I'm gonna be homeless in Thailand. Literally homeless.
That's not traveling, that's not living the dream. That's literally just being broke, but in another time zone. And let me be clear, I'm not here to sugarcoat. This is not a vacation hype video. This is a financial wake-up call. Because if you keep traveling with no money, you're not just embarrassing yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. So today, I'm giving you the real personal financial tips for traveling. The ones that will keep you from being that guy. You know, like one crying in Pattaya because his debit card got declined, or begging strangers online to buy him a plane ticket home or a coffee.
You're a Westerner. Why are you asking for money in Thailand as a Westerner? You shouldn't be in Thailand. You shouldn't be in Thailand if you can't afford it.
You're not doing that. Not after this video. Let's get into it. Tip number 1, if you're broke at home, you'll be broke abroad.
So the guys who have no self-control, Thailand is the worst possible place for you to go because you will go bankrupt. Unless you have an unlimited supply of money, you're going to go bankrupt pretty fast. You don't realize how cheap everything is, so you're just going to be spending and spending and spending.
This is the number 1 rule. I don't care if the exchange rate is in your favor. I don't care if beers in Thailand are $2. None of that matters if you can't manage your money at home. If you're living paycheck to paycheck in Ohio, what makes you think you're suddenly going to become financially responsible in Bangkok? Spoiler alert, you're not. Travel magnifies who you are with money. If you're disciplined, you'll thrive overseas. If you're reckless, you'll just burn through your cash faster because it feels cheaper. And that's how you end up on YouTube, hat in hand, begging strangers for donations.
Enough respect, but how you travel if you have no money? I know, it's life. It's life. We're gonna get through this, feel me? We're gonna get through this.
Trust me, nobody respects that. So here's the rule. Stack before you stamp. You shouldn't even be booking flights until you've got a solid emergency fund. Ideally, 6 months of expenses. And if that sounds impossible, guess what? You're not ready to travel yet. And that's okay. Work first, save, then explore. Tip number 2, travel is a privilege, not therapy. This one's controversial, but I need to say it. Some guys are out here using travel like it's therapy. They're depressed, broke, and lost at home, so they book a one-way ticket thinking a new country will magically fix things. Sadly, it won't. Travel is a privilege. It's not a cure for being financially irresponsible. If you can't afford rent, if you're dodging bill collectors, if your credit card balance is maxed, you don't need a flight, you need a budget. A passport does not erase debt. Different currency, same broke behavior. Tip number 3, budget like you live there, not like you're on vacation. This is where guys completely blow it. They land in Medellin or Bangkok and instantly turn into baller versions of themselves. Bottle service every night, overpriced taxis, eating at tourist restaurants every meal. And within a week, their bank accounts look like a crime scene. Here's the rule. If you're staying longer than 2 weeks, stop acting like a tourist. Learn local prices, find local food spots, stop overpaying for taxis. Use Grab, Bolt, Uber, or public transport. One of the most convenient ways, cheapest ways to get around is through Bolt. This is my Bolt driver for today. I only spent about 50 baht to get to where I have to go. It's about 15 to 20 minutes away too, so it's pretty cheap compared to Grab. So if you guys come to Thailand, make sure to check out Bolt, the app called Bolt. I'm not sponsored, by the way, but yeah, just use it. It's a cheap way to get around here. It's not about being cheap, it's about being smart. There's a massive difference between enjoying yourself and financially nuking your future for Instagram clout. Tip number 4, always have an emergency fund. I don't care how much fun you're having, if you don't have an emergency fund, you shouldn't be traveling, period. Flights get canceled, ATMs eat your card, phones get stolen, and yes, you might end up in a hospital. Guess what? Your US insurance probably isn't covering food poisoning in Manila. You need a backup, ideally $1,500 to $2,000 set aside, untouched, just for emergencies. Travel insurance isn't cheap, and you'll be glad you have it, because the most humiliating thing you can do is call your parents from overseas asking for money to fly home. That's not independence, that's immaturity. Tip number 5, flexing without assets is fake rich. This one stings. Some of you are out here spending 300 bucks on a bottle service in Cartagena, but you don't even have 300 bucks saved at home. That's not rich, man. That's renter rich. You're flexing for strangers who don't care about you while your landlord is wondering where the hell the rent is. The real flex, coming home debt-free, coming home with investments still growing while you were gone. A real flex, is financial freedom, not nightclub selfie.
Thailand is very cheap, but for most people coming to the country, this actually means that they get trapped into a false sense of security, and then they end up living a more expensive lifestyle, and many times they'll end up spending way more money than they would back at home.
If you can't afford to flex at home, you definitely shouldn't be flexing abroad. Tip number 6, credit cards are a tool, not a crutch. Here's where I see people screw themselves. They max out credit cards on flights and hotels, then spend the whole trip dodging minimum payments. That's not how you use credit. That's financial suicide with a layover. Here's how you do it right. Use a travel rewards card to earn points, but only if you pay it off in full every month. Carry at least 2 cards from different banks in case one gets frozen. Always notify your bank before you travel. Credit cards are a tool. Used right, they save you money. Used wrong, they chain you to debt. Tip number 7, don't chase cheap living forever. This is where digital nomads crash out. They move to Chiang Mai or Medellin because it's cheap, and then they never leave. They're making just enough money to scrape by, stuck in survival mode forever. Now I get it, when you're in your 20s and 30s, it's cool, but over 40? Probably not a good look. That's not freedom, that's just being broke somewhere warm. Here's the truth. Cheap living is not a financial strategy. At some point, you need to build real income, investments, skills, passive revenue. Otherwise, you'll just be another expat bragging about a $500 rent while secretly panicking about what happens if your laptop breaks. No one stays young forever, okay? At some point, people have to retire. You're not going to be at a working age anymore, and you have to think about the future. So that's for all the guys out there like myself, my age group between 20s and 30s. Those guys, you're not going to be young forever. You have to think about the future. Tip number 8, learn how scams work. Personal finance while traveling is just about budgeting. It's about not losing money to scams, because trust me, if you look like a clueless foreigner, there's a scam waiting for you on every corner. Taxi drivers running the meter, free tours that end in overpriced shops, fake ATM machines that skim your card, bars that hand you a bill for drinks you didn't order. The fix? Research before you go. Ask locals. Use official apps. And for the love of God, stop handing out your debit card to strangers. And finally, tip number 9, come home better, not worse. This is the big one. When you come back from a trip, your life should be better, not worse. You should have new experiences, new perspectives, and your finances still intact. If you're coming home to overdraft fees, unpaid bills, and credit card debt, you didn't travel, you just took an expensive detour into financial ruin. Travel should add more to your life, not subtract from it. Look, I get it. Traveling is exciting. Seeing the world is life-changing. But here's the truth. If you do it broke, it's just not an adventure. It's a liability. Nobody respects the guy who flies to Thailand with 200 bucks in his account and a prayer. Nobody looks up to the dude who has to beg strangers for money just to get by. If you want to see the world, respect yourself enough to do it the right way. Save first, plan smart, build a financial cushion. Travel with dignity, not desperation. Because the harsh reality is this. If you don't take personal finance seriously, you're not traveling the world. You're just running away from your problems. And eventually, those problems catch up. So be smart, stack before you stamp, budget like you live there, build assets, not just memories. And most importantly, don't be another broke travel story on YouTube. Thanks for watching. If you got value out of this, drop a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a financial wake-up call. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.